All right, so we're just going to run over your program real quick. I first want to explain like why though, because I think it's important. So with the disc herniation, um, your body's gonna be in this state of like fight or flight, alarm system mode type of thing, because it wants to protect you from further injury, which is good that it does that, right? However, when we're in this alarm mode constantly, it makes it really hard to change because it's in a protective state. The other thing that comes along with this alarm mode is muscle tension, usually. And what you'll find with a lot of people with disc herniations is they're usually going to have a lot of tightness in the back of their spine, but also in the back of their hips. So this is like where our glutes would be. A lot of tension in the glutes, a lot of tension in the low back sacrum area. So like this whole backside of my back just generally being pretty tight and stiff. Maybe I can't turn, can't move my femur, my thigh bone that much, just because everything's pretty stiff. So what my goal is with you is, instead of trying to get you to not move your spine at all, because we just saw that really didn't work a lot with the PT you just have, let's get it moving in like a different direction. So for you, I know they were doing a lot of like keep your spine neutral, move things around it, or try to not move it at all, or putting you in a lot of spinal extension, which is pretty much like arching your back, which can be providing relief. However, at the same time, it could also be furthering the mobility restrictions too. So what I want you to do is actually move in the opposite direction, and we're going to move you into spinal flexion. Not a ton. We're going to gradually do it over time based on what's comfortable. But spinal flexion is pretty much just like rounding your back, essentially. The reason we're going to do that is we're trying to get air and space back here. Because if we can get space back here, we can move our legs and our hips better. So then the low back does not have to take on more load than it wants to. So, starting off with the program. So the clamshell breathing, or rolling rather, I got a video right here, but essentially you're going to start with your legs like this. So you're not at 90 degrees of hip bend, but you're at like 60, something like that. Head supported on here, keep that neck really relaxed. And then all you're going to do is roll to the side, not letting this leg leave the ground, so it's just this leg leaving the ground. And then once you start to feel this leg leave the ground, you're going to return back to the starting point. Now, a big thing I want you to do here is really make sure you're moving slow, super slow. Because when we move slow, it just gives time for like the right joints to be moving, and so that other joints don't have to move. So trying to keep the low back chill, trying to keep your body chill, and let the hips move a little bit more. So when we start on our side, right, we're starting like somewhere like, well, let me get this pulled up again. Couldn't tell, I really like using this thing to demonstrate stuff, but when we're starting on our side like this, I guess I'll show you here, and then we have our legs kind of here. While keeping this leg on the ground and rolling, what we're doing is we're pushing with this bottom glute onto the side and then moving it back. So we're just kind of getting some motion back and forth here. Now, the reason I really like the side stuff is gravity kind of assists us in opening stuff up. Because when we did some range of motion testing with you, you were kind of restricted in like every area of your hips, which is pretty common, like I said, with like the disc herniation stuff, because your body's in like a protective mode. So being on your side's really cool because gravity's going to naturally assist us in pulling kind of everything down into the direction that we want to go, because we're trying to open this space up. So start there, and then next thing is the foam roller breathing. So with the wall, or not breathing, just foam roller with a wall sit. So what we're also trying to do here is eventually get you so that you can do like a full squat no problem. That's like one of my goals for you because one, you need to be able to do that in everyday life, but I also know how much you want to be able to leg press like a lot of weight again. So we need to be able to bend our hip like this without our low back doing a whole lot. So in order to get there though, we're going to work our way gradually. So the clamshell rolling kind of has you in like that 60 degrees of hip bend that I said. So like this is 90, this should be about 60, right? So somewhere around here. This wall sit foam roller squeeze is going to have you more at like 90. So we're gradually getting there. And by squeezing the foam roller, what this is going to do, and like shifting all of our weight back onto the wall, this is going to help start to open up this like lower compartment of our hips right here. Start to get some air into this area. So big things to keep in mind with this one is super heavy in your heels, but keep your big toe down. So don't let the big toe come flying off the ground. Heavy in the heels, big toe down, and then keep your neck relaxed and just kind of like let it like sit back on the wall. 20 to 30 seconds there. If that's way too easy, yeah, you can go a little bit longer. And then from there, modified rock back breathing. So we had you do the normal rock back breathing on your forearms, but you said that was kind of hurting your elbow. We can just straighten the arm a little bit and press the floor away instead. But the rock back breathing is now working us past 90 degrees of hip bends. All right, so now we're more like this, rocking backwards. Now I really like this one because it kind of covers a lot of bases for us. So because we're trying to open up space back here, right, and we can use certain tools to assist us, and gravity being one of them. So if I just get my stomach facing down like this, well, gravity's going to naturally want to pull everything down, right? It's going to want to pull me into that spinal flexion and pull me into that space that we want to open up back here. So just being with our stomach down alone is going to help, but especially if we get into this nice deep hip bend that we can tolerate and then lean back, push everything backwards towards our heels, reaching our arms away to get that space back here as well, we're going to be getting a whole ton of air in that whole backside of our spine, of our shoulders, right, our ribs, but also our hips, which is what we're looking to do. Because if we have more space back here, like I said, we can just move everything better, especially like these bones here and like your thigh bone here. So that's why we're doing the breathing stuff in the first place. Breathing also helps those bones move better without getting too deep into it. So it's usually a good idea to kind of pair those two things together sometimes. So big thing on that one is exhale through your mouth, squeeze a grape in your butt or like you're holding in a fart, and then inhale through your nose. As pain improves, try to rock back a little bit more onto your heels while keeping that reach into the ground. Now the next one's going to be kind of building off of everything that we're doing in this stuff and getting you standing more on the ground, more weight bearing, more related to your day-to-day. That's going to be the heel elevated rack supported squat. Now I have a box on there because we're assuming that you can't do a full squat yet. If you can and you can tolerate it, by all means go for it. I don't want to hold you back there, but assuming that you can't, set up like I know they got box jumps at that gym, like really soft ones, and you can put them fairly high. Just kind of set that up and that'll be like your target goal. Like, let me get to this box every time. And then over time we can get rid of the box or make the box lower, but we're going to elevate your heels. So essentially if I were to show you with me, I guess you can't really see my floor, but you're going to put something underneath your heel so that it's elevated. So picture my heels off the floor and my toes are pointed down. And the reason we're doing this is this allows our hips to kind of move back a little bit more, and it allows us to kind of just like drop straight down into a squat without having to like hinge a crazy amount. So we're not placing a ton of stress on the spine, and we're getting in like a pretty good squat pattern, full depth, moving this bone around pretty good. So elevate the heels and then supporting on the rack, kind of holding everything back. Heavy in your heels too, like heel pressure, while keeping the big toe down again. Just kind of trying to drop straight down. Big thing on this one is when you come up, don't come forward as you come up. I want you to kind of stay back. Keep everything back in your heels as you come up. It means you probably won't be able to fully extend your knee at the top. That's fine. We're trying to kind of have you moving with everything back in that plane. Reason I picked this one is you told me that walking backwards uphill provided a significant amount of relief. And this position pretty much mimics that a lot. And that makes sense because we're always moving forward, right? And moving forward kind of reinforces that like compressed strategy on the back of our hips. So when we move backwards, we get a chance to move ourselves in a different direction. So if we pick an exercise that can complement that, I feel like that would make sense, that would feel good. So that's why we're going there. And you're going to do these 4 on the 2 days that you're going, or 3, whatever you end up doing. These last 2 exercises, pretty basic exercises, just to kind of have you get after it. So let me kind of show you the screen again. So just got a preacher curl machine. So that's the one that's like got like a pad under your arm. Kind of helps keep you in like a neutral spine position, and we can get like some really good bicep work in. I think they might have one there that has back support too, so that'd be cool if that is a thing at that gym. Neutral grip chest press machine. So honestly, you can kind of find a grip that feels best for your shoulders, but I would assume the neutral grip might. Big thing on this one, go as low as you can while keeping your back flat against the pad. We don't want to see like a ton of arching during your pressing, just because it's not our goal right now. Not to say that'll never happen, but right now we're just trying to calm that stuff down. So another thing that'll help with this, when you're on the chest press machine, have your feet in front of you, or you can even elevate your feet on a box. That'll kind of help keep everything shifted back as you press in front of you. And again, this is just to kind of get some good upper body pec stuff going on, because you said you needed to get your arms stronger for dog walking. And then on the other day, the last 2 are a little bit different. So this one's an alternating pull down. So you'll sit down on the pull down machine. There's one there that has the ability to have like 2 different hooks. So you grab onto the handles, you'll sit down, and then all you're gonna do, you're gonna try to shift your weight back, use this as like a counterbalance, and then you're just gonna pull one arm at a time. And this is gonna be good for like kind of loosening up that upper body, but also just getting your back a lot stronger too. So pull one down, get a nice reach at the top, pull the next one down. Big thing with this one, make sure we're staying lean back. We don't need our arm directly overhead. I know for you it's probably not going to feel the best. So we can kind of have our arm like a little bit more in front of us, lean back, alternate one at a time. Last one, single arm skull crusher. The reason I say that is that's a famous exercise, but I don't want you doing it how you might think. So this one's going to be on the cable. So there's a black cable stack there. I want you to set the cable to like ear shoulder height. You're going to grab that cable. You're going to get behind it, or I guess in front of it with your back facing it. So cable's right here. I'm grabbing onto it with my hand. And you can actually lean against the cable stack so that your back doesn't have to do much of anything. And all you're going to do is just straighten your elbow. So the weight is in the back of my hand. And I'm just straightening my arm, getting a lot of really good tricep work in here. There is a machine that also does this 2 arms at a time that you can sit down, and I know that one has back support too. It's a yellow one. You can try that out. The only thing is doing 2 arms at a time might not feel the best on that elbow, that left elbow. Usually doing unilateral, like 1 arm at a time, probably feel better. But you can try that out, and if that's easier, go for it, do that. But yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. Again, we're just going to use this light system to communicate how pain's doing. If we're in that green to yellow zone, ideally most of it green, but green to yellow, we're doing good. We can kind of move forward with that. Range of motion on these, gradually get deeper over time. These exercises aren't going to stay in here forever. I don't want you to have to do them forever. Um, this isn't going to be a linear process. It's going to be ups, downs, but what we're looking for is over time. Things are getting better, and I don't want you to feel like you're like disabled or something, because you're not, and you're very capable of getting back from it, and I know you're going to, because you're really persistent. So yeah, let's give this a shot in conjunction with the PT that you're doing too. I think you're going to be in some pretty good hands. But yeah, that's it. Just let me know if you got any questions on it, and yeah, we'll talk about it.